Hello, Nick and Amy. I am so personally happy for you guys, and I think you will make a wonderful couple. I do believe God puts people in our lives at a specific time, and that has a lot of purpose to it. And I met Nick freshman year of college. It happened to be freshman orientation in the summer, and I went down there not knowing anybody at Miami, had no high school friends going there. And the first night of freshman orientation, they had a social event. And I ended up asking a group of guys to play euchre. And I turned and saw this one guy, and he looked like Tom Green. And I asked him to play, and he said yes, and his name was Nick. So we ended up playing for several hours and talking together. Had a great time. Ended up leaving that weekend thinking, I'll never see that guy again. Well, 2 months later at move-in weekend for freshmen at Miami, I was moving into my dorm room, and I again kind of looked over, saw a guy that looked familiar. Turns out it was Nick. And he was living next door to me. So we turned out to be good friends freshman year, became great friends over the next 4 years, including ended up living together in the same house senior year. And so over the last 16 years, I've been blessed and honored to be a good friend of Nick over that time and had a chance to do a lot of things with him. Now, as I said, I believe God puts people in our lives at a certain time. When Nick was in his early 30s, he basically hit rock bottom. Had no job, had no money, had no place to live. No, actually, I'm just joking. Nick was doing quite fine in his early 30s, but he was definitely missing something in his life. He was a little incomplete. Luckily, he had the opportunity to meet Amy, and the rest of the story folds out as it is. Holly and I had a chance to meet Amy for the first time at one of Aaron and Joe's parties. We ended up arriving a little late, so we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with Amy, but we did get to chat with her briefly, and we got to see an early glimpse of what a wonderful person she was. One story I want to share with you about Amy is when our daughter Bryn was 6 months old, we went out to dinner with Nick and Amy. They came back to our place, and Amy excitedly asked if she could hold Bryn. I said, well, I'll warn you, Bryn's in a phase right now where she'll scream and cry at anybody and everybody that tries to hold her that's not her mom and dad. So she went ahead and picked up Bryn, and after a few minutes, we realized Bryn wasn't crying, she wasn't screaming, she was actually looking at Amy happy as could be. And so that was my first sign of seeing Amy and knowing what a wonderful person she was, the fact that she could hold my daughter when no one else could hold her, including my mom, without Bryn crying and screaming. So that's how we met Amy and had our first couple experiences with her. In case you don't know, I wanted to share with you what the names of Amy and Nick mean. Nick is Ukraine for of the victorious people. So we definitely all know that Nick is victorious in meeting and marrying a wonderful and beautiful person in Amy. Well, Amy is derived from Chinese, and that means dearly beloved. And we all know Nick will love and cherish Amy for the rest of their lives. Something else I want to share with you is my top 10 list. So here's the top 10 reasons Nick should marry Amy. So number 10, Nick, you're starting to lose your hair up top. Take it from me. You better seal the deal before you go bald. Number 9, Amy's family owns a restaurant. Come on, free Chinese food. Number 8, Nick will have someone that will look up to him the rest of his life. Literally. Number 7, Nick is tired of being the third wheel, or the fifth wheel, or the seventh wheel, or the 13th wheel. Number 6, Nick can finally change his last name to something everybody can pronounce. You know, Tin. Number 5, Finally someone can start making Nick's decisions for him. You know, besides Chuck. Number 4, 2 words. The honeymoon. Number 3, what else is Nick going to do with all his money? And number 2, now Nick will have someone to text with him for the rest of his life. And the number one reason Nick and Amy should get married, of course, because they love each other very much. So some advice I would like to share with the new couple is 3 things. Number 1, treat each other as best friends. Number 2, don't take too much ownership in the other person and cherish what they bring to the relationship. And number 3, and most importantly, after the first year of marriage, it better be 50-50. If the relationship's 70-30 or even 60-40, one of you will most definitely be screwed. So on behalf of Holly, Tyler, Bryn, and myself, again, we just want to say congratulations. We are truly thankful to be a part of your lives, and we appreciate the friendship. May God bless your marriage together. Congratulations.